Hey Rams fans, Jake here. The Rams are continuing to shape this roster, and even moves that might look small on the surface can actually tell us a lot about how this team is thinking heading into the season. We have two pieces of Rams news that I definitely wanted to talk about, because both of them involve players trying to earn their place in Los Angeles, but in very different situations. If you're a real Rams fan, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to Rams House Daily. We're still building this community, and our first big goal is 900 subscribers. If you believe in this Rams team and you want to be part of this community from the beginning, I'd love to have you here. Now, let's get into the first story. The Los Angeles Rams have signed punter Jack Bowster, and this is an interesting addition when you look at where his football journey has taken him. Bowster is 27 years old and originally comes from Australia. He attended Michigan State from 2019 through 2021 before transferring to Utah, where he played through 2024. Then, for his final college season, he went to Texas. And despite going undrafted in the 2026 NFL Draft, Bowster eventually got an opportunity with the San Francisco 49ers. And that part is important because San Francisco apparently liked what they saw from him during training camp enough to give him a 3-year contract before eventually moving on. Now Bowster is getting another opportunity, this time with the Rams. And I know what some of you might be thinking. Jake, it's a punter. Why are we talking about a punter? Well, because special teams matter a lot. When you're building an NFL roster, you need guys who can consistently do their jobs, and punter is one of those positions where field position can completely change the way a game plays out. Bowster also has plenty of college experience. Across his college career, he appeared in 53 games and punted 213 times for 9,338 yards. That is a pretty significant body of work. Obviously, this signing doesn't mean Bowster has suddenly locked down the position or that anything dramatic has happened with the Rams, but it does give Los Angeles another player to evaluate, another leg in the competition, and another opportunity for a young player to prove that he belongs in the NFL. And honestly, that's what I like about moves like this. The Rams don't have to make every roster decision a headline-grabbing move. Sometimes it's about finding players who can compete, develop, and potentially become valuable pieces. Bowster has already taken a pretty unusual path to get here, going from Australia to Michigan State, then Utah, then Texas, then an opportunity with San Francisco, and now Los Angeles. So I'll definitely be watching this one. Now let's move on to the second Rams story, because this one involves a wide receiver with some NFL experience and a pretty interesting journey of his own. The Rams have signed wide receiver Alex Bachmann to a contract, and to make room for Bachmann, Los Angeles waived wide receiver Mario Williams with an injury designation. Bachmann is 30 years old and originally went undrafted out of Wake Forest back in April of 2021. He later agreed to a 3-year contract worth $1.755 million with the Rams. However, that first Rams opportunity didn't exactly go according to plan. Los Angeles waived Bachmann with an injury designation coming out of the preseason, and he later reverted to the injured reserve list. Eventually, he was released with a settlement. So now, years later, Bachmann is back with the Rams, and I actually think that makes this signing pretty interesting, because this isn't a player completely unfamiliar with the organization. There is already some history here. The Rams have seen him before, they know what he brings, and now he gets another opportunity to compete for a spot. Bachmann also spent time with the New York Giants. He worked out with the Giants back in November of 2021 and eventually caught on with their practice squad late that season. From there, he had a stint with the Las Vegas Raiders before joining their practice squad last year and eventually returning to Las Vegas on a futures contract. He started the year on the Raiders practice squad before signing on to the active roster in October, and in 2025, Bachmann appeared in 13 games for the Raiders, catching 2 passes for 12 yards. Now, those numbers obviously aren't eye-popping. 2 receptions for 12 yards isn't the kind of production that makes you immediately think a player is going to become a major offensive weapon. But that's not necessarily what this signing is about. At this stage, it's about competition, depth, and giving a veteran receiver another chance to prove he can contribute. And for the Rams, there's very little downside to bringing in someone who has NFL experience and already has some familiarity with the organization. The big question now is whether Bachmann can turn this opportunity into something more. Can he stay healthy? Can he separate himself from the other receivers competing for roster spots? Can he contribute on special teams? Can he show enough in practice to make the coaching staff believe he deserves to stick around? Those are the things that will ultimately matter. And when you put both of today's moves together, I think they tell us something pretty simple about the Rams. This team is still evaluating. The roster is never really finished, and especially as we get closer to the season, every opportunity matters for players trying to earn a spot. Jack Bowster is trying to turn a unique college journey into an NFL career. Alex Bachmann is trying to turn another opportunity with Los Angeles into a second chance. And honestly, those are the kinds of stories I love following because every player has something to prove. For Rams fans, we're obviously focused on the big names, the stars, the players we expect to carry this team. But championships are also built with depth. They're built with players who step up when somebody gets hurt. They're built with special teams players who win field position. They're built with guys who make one important play at exactly the right moment. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that either of these signings is going to change the Rams' season. That would be ridiculous. But I will say this, every roster move matters when a team is trying to build something special. And right now, the Rams are giving more players an opportunity to show that they belong. That's what makes this part of the offseason so interesting. You never really know which player is going to go from being a relatively unknown name to someone Rams fans are talking about every single Sunday. Maybe one of these guys becomes that story. Maybe they don't, but the opportunity is there. And as Rams fans, all we can ask is that this team keeps looking for talent, keeps creating competition, and keeps making the roster better wherever it can, because the goal hasn't changed. We want a team that can compete at the highest level, and ultimately, we want another Lombardi Trophy coming back to Los Angeles. So Rams fans, let me know what you think. Are you interested in seeing what Jack Bowster can bring to the punter competition? And what do you make of the Rams bringing Alex Bachmann back after everything that happened during his first stint with the team? I want to hear your opinion because this is Rams House Daily, and this community is just getting started. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're still chasing that first goal of 900 subscribers. And if you're a real Rams fan who believes this team has what it takes to make a serious run and compete for the Super Bowl, come be part of the community. We're building Rams House Daily together, one fan at a time. I'm Jake, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Rams!